What up? It's your boy Nick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again. And this is New Amsterdam Season 4, Episode 17, Unfinished Business. And all I can say is just wow. Let's talk about it, man.
I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings, I'ma be fine.
This episode took me completely by surprise. I knew stuff was going to happen to these people, but the stuff that actually happened, man, oh my gosh. So we found out that everybody had been drugged. And it was like what was in their system, it was enough to actually officially kind of kill them. But everybody ended up being safe, but everybody had complications. Trevor seemed kind of fine. Trevor, like, he got caught or whatever, so Trevor seemed kind of fine. But Casey ended up being drugged and ended up being mugged and stabbed in the neck with a screwdriver. Mia, the holistic doctor lady, ended up being drugged, and she either fell off of the thing or she kind of wandered down there and ended up being severely hypothermic. Dr. Elizabeth ended up being knocked unconscious in her own apartment after being drugged. So, and Sharp being unconscious, probably along with the jet lag and everything else, passing out on her bedroom floor in Max's apartment, also had blood clots. So like, it wasn't just the simple drugging of the people that happened. It was just stuff on top of stuff as well. And this was just a traumatic episode, man. I'm glad everything ended in a roundabout way, but I didn't, honestly, for a moment, I didn't know how any of this was going to go, because I was legitimately concerned for Sharp for a moment with the blood clots, and then, her about not wanting to have the hysterectomy and everything like that. And in the end, it worked out okay. All of the blood clots got resolved. Her and Max is on that road to building a wonderful relationship. Max decided to propose to her. Well, mentioned that he wanted to propose to her. He got the ring and everything, but they never officially done it. But all of the blood clots got removed and everything, and they even talked about having kids, at least having a kid together, no matter the circumstances, how hard it may be or whatever. They decided to have a kid together. And at the end of the episode, we see that Sharp can't speak. We know it's been a trial for them to get together, man. And then, the stuff with them going to London, and then this episode with the drugging. It's been a bumpy ride. But at the end of the episode, we see that she can't speak. I mean, I don't know. My heart is breaking. Now, New Amsterdam, I mean, I know it's a lot of stuff going on, and they wrapping up this season and everything. But the stuff that they hit me with this episode, man. Oh, my gosh. Iggy and his whole relationship drama, man. I mean, technically speaking, this one is on Iggy. I mean, I'm not trying to pick sides or anything, but this one is on Iggy, because after the fact of Trevor hitting on you in the interview, you still considered to hire him, and then you hid the fact from your husband. Like, Iggy, this is on you this time, man. And technically, I feel like he was a little bit of emotionally cheating. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really lean into it too much, but he was emotionally cheating. And I feel something might have happened with him and Trevor. Maybe a kiss or something. I honestly don't know. But I feel like Trevor saw Iggy's husband in the background and he didn't say anything. I feel like that's why he decided, no, nothing happened. Nothing at all. I feel like he might have saw him just chilling in the background, but Iggy didn't know that. Honestly, this is the kind of stuff that could have took place on the phone. Like, he didn't have to FaceTime him on the laptop. He could have FaceTimed him on the phone, so that way he could have been aware of his surroundings. I'm just putting this out there. And we see them having a whole fight, and at the end of the episode, the kids heard everything, and now they're sitting at the dinner table, and nobody's feeling the best. You know what I'm saying? Mia. We see that Floyd found Mia, and Mia is severely hypothermic, and, her heart can't be anyway with the paddles, you know what I'm saying, until like they bring up her body temperature. And Floyd had this wonderful idea of giving her the medicine that she's allergic to, which would cause a severe allergic reaction, and that would rise up her body temperature, and then they can treat her. And I was a little worried in the moment when it was happening, but in the end, it worked out perfectly. And I was like, oh, good on Floyd for that one, man. Walsh was a little scared that, he never knew what was going to happen, but, it turned out, and it ended up working out for her benefit. Now, let's talk about Dr. Wilder. We see that Dr. Wilder this episode was not unconscious, had a cut, and she was feeling some type of way this episode because she went to confront the guy that drugged them. And we knew it was the bartender. I mean, there was no speculation about it. We knew it was this guy. He looked like a little creepy guy that had drugged somebody. And then his reasoning behind drugging them was because of COVID, and like they blew COVID out of proportion and everything. Dude, that's not the reason to run around and almost kill somebody. Because Casey almost died. Wilder, she didn't die, but she was unconscious. You know, Helen almost died. Like, there was a lot of people. Mia almost died. Half of these people almost died, and you drugged them because of COVID, because you lost your job for 18 months and you had to pay back rent. That's not on the doctors, man. That's not on them people. I don't know, man. Like, his whole reasoning behind it was far-fetched. Like, there was no conclusive reasoning for him doing what he did. He just done it because he felt like doctors had wronged him. And his whole ideology behind it was stupid, because Wilder's a cancer doctor. She's not doing day-to-day stuff. I mean, sure, she'd help out wherever she could with COVID, because a lot of doctors done that, but she's a cancer doctor. She don't really just see. Come on, man. Learn stuff before you do the things that you want to do. It makes no sense. Like, that whole rhetoric behind it, I didn't get it. I mean, I know I'm using my hands a lot, but I'm seething over here, man. And I just didn't get that whole part. Like, I mean, I got it, but then I didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know why he done it, but it doesn't add up why he done it. That's just me. And then we see that Wilder felt some type of way, and, you know, she kind of mentioned about how people was clapping and celebrating doctors and nurses and medical personnel and everything, but now they decided to turn their back on them. But it was nice to see her at the end of the episode where she decided to put on her scrubs and just walk home, or walk to the hospital or whatever. Anyway, so that was nice. No, she walked home. Okay. Now let's talk about Floyd. Again, my boy Floyd, man. Big ups on him, by the way, you know, for deciding to let Leon and Claude raise his son with, you know, with them as a cohesive family, and then he just wants to be a part of his son's life at the most opportune time, you know, whenever Lynn decides it's the right time for her to tell their son, you know, that, well, hey, your real father is in New York. Because I'm with Floyd. I'm not leaving my job. You know what I'm saying? My job is good. I like my job. I'm not leaving. But to be fair, Floyd, I don't want to say, you know, it's his fault, but it is his fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put yourself in this kind of situation, so now this is what you have to do. This is how you kind of have to handle things. And you can see that he's a little heartbroken, but I'm just saying, you put yourself in this predicament with this throuple, so that's how you ended up in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Now you got this whole weird dynamic, and you guys brought a son into this, and it's not Claude's son, it's your son, and you want to be a part of your son's life, but you can't because Lynn and Claude are moving to Denver, Floyd staying in New York, and he tried to mention her leaving Claude and staying with him, and she was like, no, I'm staying with my husband, I love my husband. But you put yourself in these shoes, Floyd. I mean, so now you're in a predicament where you got to just kind of deal with the way that the wind blows a little bit. So I will say it's good on him for stepping up in that moment, and I think it's okay because the child will be raised in love, and then he can give it a nice little home, and then whenever they want to mention it, it can mention that he has a father in New York. Let's talk about Layla, Bloom, and Casey. Now, Casey was drugged and he got attacked and mugged. So, and you know, he had a screwdriver in his neck. I felt kind of bad for Casey this episode, man. Casey was just trying to help a friend, and that friend almost killed him. Then Casey got out of the car, and I'm assuming that's when the drugs kind of took effect, and then that's when he kind of got mugged. But, you know, then he was out there, and I feel like just because it might have been cold, and that kind of helped with the blood and leaving the screwdriver in his neck, that kind of might have helped him in that moment where he wouldn't have died. But let's talk about the whole Layla Bloom aspect. First of all, I love Casey and Bloom's relationship, by the way. But let's talk about Layla and Bloom. Layla and Bloom are in this episode, and Bloom is worried about Casey, and Layla was like, okay, well, I'll help you go look for him. And then she mentions about her immigration because, you know, Lauren brought it up, and they start talking about it. She was like, well, I'm going to need $10,000 for the retainer and $10,000 a month to help with this. Girl, I'm sorry, you gonna have to be deported. You know, I'm just being real. Man, we ain't even in a relationship no more. I can't be giving you roughly $100,000, maybe, possibly. I don't know how much. 70,000. You never really know. But I can't be giving. We ain't in a relationship. But what I loved about this episode is I feel like Bloom realized, later made up this big old excuse, about, well, our relationship is based on monetization, and you helping me and doing all this other type stuff. But when it's convenient, you want Bloom to help you with this money. Now, I'm not trying to pick sides, but I'm Team Bloom 100% because Layla feels like now is the right time that you need Bloom's help. Now, sure, Bloom brought it up, but you could have turned her down, but you don't want to be deported, and now her money is a necessity. You know what I'm saying? You didn't need it then, but you need it now. And I do realize that Layla trying to feel like, look, now this is the perfect time to bring in our relationship because she was touching Bloom's hands and everything. But I feel like now Bloom realizes that, her relationship with Layla was toxic. And I feel like Bloom sees that now, you know what I'm saying? And, because Layla made this whole big ordeal. Well, I don't want your money. I don't want you to pay for me. We're going to break up. And then she would never really talk to Bloom. You know what I'm saying? Bloom didn't really want to interact with her either. So, it was a weird dynamic. But now that you need money for your immigration lawyer, I need about $10,000 for the retainer and about $10,000 a month. And I feel like Bloom she mentioned that she's going to give her the money. But I don't think Bloom is going to pursue a relationship after this. After this, she's going to cut ties with Layla completely. Now, we'll have to see how it plays out. I feel like we're probably 17, 18, 19, 20. We might do 20 episodes. You never really know what seasons like this. It's kind of hard to tell. We may do 20, or we may just stop at like 18. You never really know. But we'll have to see how that plays out in season 5. But anyway, man, this review was a little bit longer than what I wanted, but I mean, there was just a lot to talk about, man. We got to see Karen this episode as well. It was just overall a mind-blown episode, man. This is what is incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button so you can smash any more. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.
All out, and I am here to stay right now, so don't call it